Hey everyone, welcome back to part 7, our final part of editing with Adam Lavell, working on KatKat's picture. So we've done quite a bit. We've removed the green screen, we've used the curve adjustment tool to create depth and detail, we've used other adjustments such as brightness and contrast, vibrance levels, to fine-tune some of the details in the image. We've also created the background, and we've created a bit of light reflection off of KatKat's body in the last video. So this one is going to be the finishing touches, what I would do to finish the image. Firstly, I'm going to feather out some of the edges of KatKat. So to do this, I'm going to press Ctrl and click on the layer icon, so I select all of KatKat, and then I'm going to press the mask button. Make sure the layers are selected, and then press the mask button, and then I'm going to go to Window, Properties, Mask Edge, and then this brings up Refine Mask, and where I can choose to feather out the edges. And you can see in the preview, I'll go to the extreme, see what's happening. Basically it's like fading out the edges to almost transparent. That's obviously too much, so I only want to do just a little bit. And then the contrast up a bit. And what this basically does is it kind of like just feathers out the edges, and then when you press OK, it kind of smoothens it out, and maybe even make it look like this is one complete image and not two images, one on top of the other, you know, the model and then the background. I'm not entirely happy with this part here, so I might cut that out. And the way I would do that is, sorry KatKat, but I'm going to cut your hair. I'm just going to use the polygonal selection tool, and then just create the selection that I want to cut out. And then with my eraser tool, just going to get rid of it and realise, why is it not going? There you go. So yeah, because I had that clicked. So yeah, so that's what I need to do. Get rid of that. But now you see how we have this, the remainder of that strand kind of coming over here. I want to blend it so that it doesn't look like there's an overlapping hair strands that looks out of place. So I'm going to use a selection tool again, select the area, and then with the clone tool I'm just going to select, say from here, and then just go down over a few times, and then maybe from below and go up. Reduce opacity. There you go. So I've given KatKat a bit of a trim. Wasn't really feeling that extra piece there. Okay, so what we've done, we've feathered the edges. And kind of gives it a bit of a softer look around the edges. I'm going to increase the light source here a bit. Actually, yeah. So you see how by doing that, increasing my light source, that hair part has become lighter than the one that I just removed. It's because there's the adjustment layer. So that layer was painted over an area which I've now just removed, but didn't take it out in that layer. So I'll just have to reselect it and just delete it off that particular layer. And then what I'm going to do is with the blur tool, just go over it. So on this layer, go. Okay. So now I'm happy with that. Now finishing touches. Now what I do firstly is I zoom in on the face. I get my sharpen tool and I go into the eyes and I sharpen the eyes because I want to make them pop out a bit more. Eyelashes. See the difference it makes. So that's that, and then I do the lips. I want to reduce the opacity slightly to 80% on the lips. Looks like she's got really chapped lips now. Let me reduce that. We need to get KatKat some lip balm. That's better. And then there's other areas that you can sharpen, maybe like the eyebrows, places where you only want to pop out. So for me, it's about the eyes and the lips. That's what I want really to pop. So that's that part done. So sharp, using a sharp tool. Then I will just let's leave that there. Then I'm going to use an iris blur. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it yet. I might decide not to use it, but let me select the right layer. Iris blur is basically where you're using is where you can create an area that you want people to focus on, and everything outside of the circle kind of blurs out gradually. So for me, the main focus will be here, and then everything else kind of like gradually blurs out. And you can do multiple areas that you want to keep focus. So I kind of want to keep this area. I don't want to lose too much focus. And then so basically I'm just choosing the areas that I want not to be completely out of focus, and areas I want to be in focus. Okay. And so basically you can always go back to these points to make any adjustments if you want to change anything. Okay, I think I like that. So basically what I've done is using iris blur, anything within the circle, like this here, is the primary focus. So let's look at this one. So anything here is going to be in focus. Anything outside gradually blurs out, and everything outside of the circle gets blurred out. And you can choose how much you want to blur. So I've chosen my points. I'm happy with it. We'll press OK and we'll let it process, and we'll see how it looks. Like I said, this is something that I tend to play around with and do several attempts to see whether it's something that I want to keep or not. I like it. Because the idea is to bring focus here and then to kind of like let it fade out around the edges. So you're drawn into this part. Okay, I'm happy with that. But this is a bit too straight now. So with my blur tool, go 100%. I'm just going to blur this area here. Okay. I'm happy with that. I'm going to go back to my curve adjustments. Remember I said in the few videos back that you tend to, go back to certain areas because they just there's certain things that you want to work on. That's why I don't merge down until I'm completely happy with everything, because you never know when you might want to change something. So what I'm doing now is just kind of adding some light to some of the dark areas. Okay, I'm happy with that. So, if I was to flatten the image, it would. So this is something that I've recently learned. If you press Control, Shift, Alt, and E, it brings the entire image, everything that you've done, stamp it onto one layer. I think it's actually called stamp visible. Okay, so you basically stamp everything together. So here, what I might do is do my curves again. Control I. Just label that D for dark. Clip it to that, and then do another one, which I'll make it light. Control I to invert it. Make that L for light. And then with a low opacity brush, it's at 11% at the moment, so I'll try with that. I'm just going to paint over this area, and then with the light brush I'm just going to paint over here. So basically what I've done is I've lightened this area and I've darkened this area a bit. Purely because I just want to add a bit more light. But I'm going to take away some of that light because I think I might have done a bit too much here. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, so this one I'm actually going to merge down. Now I'm going to, and this is where I play around with certain adjustments just to see whether it looks good or not. So here I'm going to increase exposure. This is just going to be on the stamped one. Increase the offset, maybe. Gamma correction. Again, technically I don't know exactly what they do, but I see the effect it has. So like with the offset, basically kind of like does that, and I do see this effect applied to a lot of images on Flickr, and it works for quite a lot of images, but when I do, I don't need to do it too much. I just slightly. What would it look like if I bought? It's interesting when you do play with some of these tabs because you might have an idea of how you want the final image to look, but then when you start making certain adjustments, it can look completely different to what you envisaged it, but you actually quite like how it looks, and you think, I might actually keep it like that. Let's go with that for now. I'm not sure. See, this would be a perfect time to ask somebody, what do you reckon? So right now, I'm talking to myself, and I feel like a complete lunatic, talking out loud. But maybe if I was to ever do like a live stream and have your responses, I could actually ask you the question live, and you could tell me whether you like this or not. I kind of do, but I don't know if I do. Like, thing is, I don't know if any of you have experienced this yourself. When you're in the editing process, you kind of like it. You know, you've zoomed in and you're thinking, yep, looks great, love it, well happy with it. But then you upload it to Facebook or Flickr, and then you're thinking, not sure if I do like it as much. I do that all the time, honestly. I think it's a really great image initially, and then I put it out on Flickr and I'm thinking, nah, maybe I should have done this, maybe I should have done that. But to be honest, that's a good thing. You know, I am my own biggest critic, and I do look at my own work and think there's certain things that I could have done, I should have done, I need to do, I need to learn how to do. Excuse me. And it pushes me to learn more and to do better things. So I've come to a decision. I'm going to keep the offset a bit light, not too much. 83. I'm going to bring down the gamma correction. It's coming together nicely. Now I'm going to merge that one down. So now that's how it looks. So this is what it was looking like, and this is what it's looking like now. Okay, final thing that I do is I go to camera raw filter. Wait for that to load up, and then I play around with these slides and then see if there's anything here that I would change. Maybe add a tint of blue. So if I go all the way blue, then it completely changes the image, the tone, but a slight tint could work. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to make too much of a difference on that. Exposure. I've seen some people do some really like bright images, and it actually looks really good. But I don't tend to go to like really overexposed images myself. Contrast. No, I think contrast is good as it was. Clarity. I think I might leave it there. So that's before. That's after. I don't think I want to keep the blue, so I'm going to take that back. I'll take down a bit. So really all I've done here is just increase the clarity and a bit of the exposure and reduce the shadows a bit. And that's that. I think this is the final image. I'm just going to zoom around and just see. How's it looking? Okay, I'm happy with that. So what I tend to do is I save it as it is, the PSD file. I'll then flatten the image and then do a save as. That way I still have my PSD with all the layers, and then this one will be what I post for the world to see. I resize it to 6000 for Flickr. Let it do its job. And then I add my logo. So when it comes to putting my logo, it's my ready-made logo, and then I just make it tiny. Before I used to have it like quite prominent in the image, and when I look back on it I'm thinking, nope, way too big. And then I reduce the opacity to 30%. I might move it to this side. Yeah. You can see how OCD I am, how it has to be lined up perfectly. Okay, so I'll flatten that. Save it. So this is going to be my Flickr version. Then I create, I reduce the size to 3000, and then save as, and this will be for Facebook, because Facebook don't really like large files. So I don't tend to put the main one on Facebook. Okay, so that's it. I think we're done. We are done. So we started off with this and we ended up with this. Got rid of all of this screen, we created the shadows, shading, we added some definition and depth, we created the whole background, we did some other adjustments, some sharpening, we did an iris blur, we did quite a bit, we really did, and we added this shadow as well. So thank you so much for staying with me to the very end. For those that did, those that didn't, you suck. I'm only kidding. That's why I had to make it into various different parts, because there's some stuff that you guys know, there's some stuff that you have probably zero interest in, so there's no need for you to see those parts. But thank you so much for watching all that you have and editing with me. I hope to do some more, but please do comment what your thoughts are, what you think I could have done differently, and what you would like to see me try and do next maybe. I am actually enjoying creating these videos, so it could be a thing that I do, or it might not. It's okay either way. But I hope first and foremost that you might have learned something, and if you did, make sure to practice, try new things, and have fun doing it. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to follow me on Facebook, Flickr, Admin World. All the details are down below. And let me know your thoughts on this series of editing with Adam Lavell. Cheers. Take care, guys. Speak to you soon. Bye.